bring myself in first and then you.
Sounds good.
Hey people, how are you? And welcome to the Experience with Rehman Cee, where we talk to real people about real life and their real stories. So I'd like to welcome Bruce onto the show. Bruce, how are you, brother?
How's it going? Nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
No worries. Listen, so where are you? Where are you in the world?
Right now, I'm actually in America, but I usually live in Europe, in Slovenia, and I'm like a full-time resident there. But because of COVID, I had to come home. But I full-time live in Europe.
So where were you raised in the US?
Originally from Philadelphia.
Okay, and now where are you?
Slovenia. So.
Oh, this recording is not from Slovenia, right?
No, this Slovenia. This is not. I am. Right now, I'm in my hometown.
Okay. Yeah. Good. All right. So people don't know about Slovenia. I mean, they probably never even heard the name. So where is it geographically, and how long have you been there?
Geographically, it's like Eastern Europe. It's just east of Italy on the border, and I've been living there for probably about 3 years now. I started on the
Right.
seaside, and then I moved into more of a mountainous area on the west coast.
Wow. Yeah, and I've been around that area, that whole former Yugoslavia kind of location, and it's absolutely beautiful, and the food is fantastic as well.
Absolutely amazing. They have some great quality food. They have a little bit of different style than us, but they have like a little bit some sauces, some fish, and their meats to die for.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're bringing back memories now. Okay, so listen, let's get into it. Let's get into the show. So my question to you, brother, is what's your message to the world?
Just live your dream. Do what you got to do. Pursue your own passion, find happiness, and from that, I'm pretty sure things will start to fall into place for you.
So are you living your dream?
I believe so. I remember when I was a young kid, just growing up, all I wanted to do was play soccer in Europe, and that's what I'm doing now. Playing soccer, living my dream, getting paid, meeting people, and then when you get to travel the world, you get so many experiences just from traveling the world that you can never get that back.
Yeah, that's awesome, brother. So let's kind of reflect over that. Let's reflect over your philosophy. Let's reflect over your attitude and approach, your mindset. Let's take it back. Let's take it back to when you were born. Talk to me about your parents. Talk to me about how they raised you. What was their parenting style?
Yeah, I have a little sticky situation with my parents and stuff. So my parents got divorced when I was 5. So I was raised by by my mother and her mother, so my granny. And my mom was I was like that mama's boy when I was growing up, really, really young, giving me the world. Didn't have a lot of money, but made sure he got what I needed. And then that kind
What
of
kind of boy?
Sorry?
What kind of boy did you say you were?
I was a mama's boy when I was growing up.
Oh, mama's boy. Okay. I wanted to make sure everybody heard that.
Yeah, mama's boy. And then like you kind of get this work ethic into me. Nothing's ever going to be given to you. Like if you want something, you got to make sure you put your heart into it and work for it. So they really put that into me at a young age, and I just kind of stuck with it. I was trying my best at everything and doing everything I can.
So your father and mother split up.
Correct.
You obviously were close with your grandmother from your mother's side. What did you get to meet your grandparents from your father's side, and what were they like if you met them?
No, I didn't. So basically, after the divorce, what actually happened was the reason of the divorce was because my father went to jail. So after that kind of situation, my mom got full custody of me, and then that's why I moved in with my grandmother. And then I kind of like my mom put me in like a protective bubble, and in doing that, she said like, this is what I think is best for you. If you're going to take it what you have. If not, we could be like living on the street somewhere. So take what you have and then just work hard for it.
So you're saying that was it okay, or was it a very difficult financial environment as a child?
They made sure I never went hungry. They made sure I never had a reason to be desperate. you know, you as a parent, you kind of don't let your kids see that kind of situation. You kind of make sure that they feel like everything's in abundance, but like the kid doesn't really recognize that situation until maybe they get a little bit older. So I feel like that's kind of the situation I was put in. I always had food on my table. I always got what I need. If I needed new cleats or new shin guards, I made sure I got those. But it wasn't like I was going out on vacations in the summertime or anything like that. My vacation was going to soccer tournaments and going to soccer trainings at night.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit more about your grandma and your mum. Talk to me about your mum first. Who is she, and how would you describe her?
Loving, caring, like any other mom, best mom in the world. What can I say? She is very outgoing. She's very funny, laughing. She tries to give everyone the best version of herself. I would say that, and I think I get that a lot from her. To where like, don't be so self-centered. Don't be so scared about who you are. Just put yourself out in the world, and people who accept you, they accept you, and people who don't, well, then they don't accept you for that. But you know, there's so many people in the world. You're bound to like make an impact on some people, and you're about to have a good time if you're just genuine with yourself. And I think I got that a lot from her.
Yeah. And so talk to me about your grandma. What was she like, and how did she raise your mum?
My grandma is more of like I don't know, a hard stickler, stubborn head, you know. So you get like this loving, caring side, and then you come in saying like, "Oh, I'm sore from training," and she goes, "No, I don't want to hear that. Like, go out, stretch, do your thing. I don't want to hear you complaining. Suck it up. Do your kind of like be a man kind of aspect."
Yeah.
So she was very firm, very hard. So even though it was two women like raising me, it's like I had a good like pushback going back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah, you had the two energies being presented to you. So, like, how do you think your grandma raised your mum? Like, what kind of values did she put in? Could you see the dynamics?
Sometimes yeah, sometimes no, because we were very well. Everybody basically in my family that I know of is divorced. So my grandma was divorced. Obviously, my mom's divorced. So they become very individualized, and you become very independent and self-reliant on yourself. So you can kind of see that trickle down the effect in the household just between us three, to where like if we wanted something done, it's you do it. Don't wait on someone else in the household to do it for you. And you can see that really kind of trickle down between my grandmother into my mom into me, to where it's like, hey, if you want something, well, do it yourself. Don't wait on someone around the house to go do something for you.
Give me an example.
So like if your laundry is overflowing, and you know, like say my granny, she always loved to do laundry on Saturday, but I need to do laundry on Wednesday because I have training. I'm going to do my own laundry, and if I'll ask them, say, hey, I'm doing laundry. Do you need anything done as well? I'm not going to wait till Saturday just for something to get done when I know I can go down and do it myself.
Yeah, cool. So, talk to me about growing up then. So, who were you? Let's finish off this subject. So, what is your relationship with your father? Do you have a relationship?
He was deceased when I was 13. So,
okay. So, have you reconciled with your father? You know, being in the penitentiary, and then did you get to see him from 0 to 13, or from 5 to 13, or how was the relationship?
there wasn't really a relationship, I would say. Like I had phone call visits with him, but it was basically just like a 1 hour phone call, get your basics down the line once every week or whatever, and then just waiting to hang up the phone kind of deal. There was no real kind of interaction there anymore. Once he kind of went into jail, it's kind of like, well, I made my own mind up when I was younger. It's like, you went to jail, okay, cool. You made your choice. I got my own choices to make when I'm growing up on what I want. And if you made your choices to be out of my decisions, out of my life, then that's his decision, and I just got to move on with it and live with it.
So you feel he made choices, it wasn't his circumstances. He had a criminal bend to him.
Yeah.
Okay. So so how has that influenced you then? How has that affected your sense of self?
It's kind of difficult to say. I'll be honest, because like even sometimes now I still feel like I'm trying to find myself. You know, I'm in my early 20s. Like you can never really figure out yourself all the way entirely. Because I feel like if you do, then you're kind of lying to yourself at the same time. Because you're always developing, you're always evolving, and if you're not developing and evolving, then you're kind of stuck in one place, and that's even worse than not knowing who you are in sometimes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, you know, what was your processing uh, your identity at that time, not having a father figure around you? How does a child interpret, you know, their reality with not having a father? Because, you know, I'm just trying to see, there might be some young people who are watching and trying to understand how to reconcile their situation with not having a father. How do you process it, and then how do you see the negative sides of that in yourself right now?
Okay, so I can definitely see some negative sides like right off the bat. I know like it's hard for me to like trust people a little bit, you know, especially like kind of a male figure like or a coach or something like that. I kind of trust my own instincts a little bit more than what I would trust someone. So I know I have that. Abandonment a little bit. I still have that a little bit with me. And then honestly, I had some counseling. I talked to people about it. You know, my mother always was upfront with me. She always said, "You may not want to talk to like her or like my grandmother, but you know, go out and actually talk to someone because the times that you don't talk about it, that's when it can really like eat in your head, and you kind of get on yourself, and then that's where like it can spiral out of control. So really, just kind of go out, find someone that you can vent to, whether it be like a best friend, a counselor at school, a teacher, someone in that kind of aspect, even a neighbor. For me, honestly, it was my neighbor. So I got out into my neighbor, and I was able to talk to him, and you kind of just work your way through things slowly but surely, day after day, month after month, year after year, and you become this kind of person that you develop and that you want to become.
What did you need to talk to your neighbor about? What did you need to kind of express?
Well, growing up with two females, you don't really learn, you know, some male things about going on unless you
Yeah.
get like public school or something. So you kind of need to talk about some certain aspects of life of
Okay.
going on. So I definitely needed someone to vent to about that. And then obviously it's just kind of that kind of thing. Like if you feel uncomfortable with like your mom or like vice versa, maybe it's like your mom missing and your dad, you know, if you feel uncomfortable with the situation, then you kind of have to find someone to just kind of vent to about life changes that are going on in that kind of time frame.
Okay. So talk to me about now your journey. You're, let's say, 6 years old. Talk to me from 6 to 12. What was going on?
6 to 12, I was kind of a pretty messed up kid. I'll be honest. I was getting a lot of fights at school. I was going down to the principal's office, daycares, getting kicked out of daycares. Had my mom basically trying to spank me every other day, trying to put me in line, control me. But once I hit kind of more like a 10 age, it's kind of when I found soccer I found sports. And then you kind of take all that energy and that aggression that you have just like at the world, because that's kind of what it was at the time, just like aggression at everything going on around you. And you can then channel that into like something that you can focus on and then you can really develop yourself with.
So do you feel that that frustration that you were having with the world had something to do with you being you know, a single parent child, or was it just general frustration with, you know, day-to-day life and living?
I was probably be like a little bit of both. I mean, cause and effect, you know, when I was generally angry with my father for making that decision and for going to prison, not being there for me. And then also with him not being there, it kind of causes the effect in the situation I was put in. And then I don't know, you get teased around at school or something gets happened and you have it in you already. And you're just like, well, it needs to come out somewhere, and you just explodes.
Yeah. Do you feel you have got closure on your father, seeing that he's already passed away and you haven't been able to articulate your points of view to him, you know, in adulthood in the way you can as an adult?
Yeah. I mean, it's near there, here or there, honestly, in my opinion. because whether he was here or not, I would still be doing the things I would be doing right now. At least I think I would be. So we kind of I feel like we had our time and we had our moments. And I feel like everybody does that in your life. You have your time, you have your moments, and then they change you or they make you better or make you worse for whatever it is. And then you move from that experience and then you can kind of move on. So I guess I do have, to answer your question, I do have a little bit of closure, just knowing that like I'm comfortable with not having that opportunity at the same time.
Yeah. So you found soccer, or you found sports. Tell me more.
Yeah, but we can say football. Let's be honest. Come on.
It's football, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm saying you found sports. Tell me about it. So now you're around between 9 and 12. What's going on? Where you heading to?
So basically, I just started picking up. This is how I made friends. This is how I started getting myself out of just being closed inside and going out and exploring the world and seeing what it's actually like to be around other people and have like some social interactions and what normal social interactions are like. And I think when I was like 10, 11 is when I hit my first club team. And I didn't make the A team. Obviously, that's usually how it starts. You start on a little lower, and then you say you got that potential, and then you basically take all that, like I said before, you take all that anger and that energy that you have in you, and you just transform it into something else. And being mad at the world, I say, okay, I'm gonna go play soccer in the backyard for 2 hours, or I'm gonna go on a run, or I'm gonna do a little training, or I don't train every day, and start to develop yourself, and then that's when I started becoming the player and the person I am now because of that little transition on focusing my energy in the right places instead of putting it in somewhere that it didn't need to be.
So how do you do that? Because you do have kids who are in your similar circumstances, and then they go and focus their energy on drugs or alcohol or girls or boys. What was different about you? Was it a mental thing, or was it like you could sense from your body that you were better than others in a physical in the physical arena?
Yeah. From a young age, I could like feel that. I was scoring goals, running past kids, that kind of thing. But it also comes like at that age, I feel it's more like the supportive nature of your family, because like I said, I had very supportive people with me. So if I wanted to go do something, they were very supportive in helping me achieve that goal and helping me do what I wanted to do. But once you kind of get into like the preteen age, then that's where it kind of clicks in the mental switch, like say, hey, I got something going. You don't need that supportive edge anymore. You know you've got something. Now be responsible, be disciplined, and go after it.
Did you have, like, when you said you be responsible, be disciplined, and go after it? What was it? The vision that you were going after?
My dream as a kid. The dream I
So
had
you
as a
lost
kid was to
a little bit of sound there.
Sorry. I said my dream.
I think we've lost the sound.
Oh.
Now it's better. There was something. It comes in and out a little bit. It may be where you've got the mic.
Can you hear me now? I'm better. Okay.
Yeah. We can hear you now.
Sorry. It's more so just like I'm sorry. I'll be honest. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. It's like you were now focused and disciplined. The question is, did you have a visualization of what you were trying to be focused and disciplined on? What was the goal that you were trying to achieve?
Yeah. My dream was to just play professional soccer, play professional football. So basically what I decided then was just to play professionally, to work hard for it, and after it.
Is that, I mean, because a lot of people would say, oh, you haven't got a chance, it's unrealistic, the probability of someone going into professional sport is very low, particularly, team games and soccer. So what was telling you that you were different or you should go for it?
Myself. I mean, just self-belief. Like you always have this kind of thing to where like when you get older, you can have a backup plan when you're older. But when you're younger and you have a dream like that, you chase it 100%. Like if you get maybe into like high school and you're like a junior or senior and you don't really see things falling your way, then you kind of can put together and understand your situation. But when you're that young, you have a dream, chase it. That's what dreams are meant for. They're meant to be chased.
So you already like believed, you already dreamed. Why is it that some people dream and some people don't? Why do some people believe and some people don't?
Yeah. That can come from a lot of places, I'll be honest. So like I said, probably comes from your family, in my opinion. Because if you have someone that's telling you every single day, believe in your dreams, believe in yourself, compared to someone that's being told you don't have any dreams, you'll never make it, or you're just a piece of crap and you don't have what it takes, well then you're going to eventually. You're not gonna believe in yourself. You're gonna believe all the lies that you're being told. So if you have just a little positivity and then that little positivity makes you believe in yourself, then that's what you take. That's what you ride.
Okay. So walk me through the rest of your journey to Slovenia.
Okay, so then I turned 13. Is when I went into the academy level here in America. Then for those 2 years in middle school, and I went to my high school team. At the same time, I'm playing academy. I actually quit my freshman year in high school because I didn't make the varsity team because I thought I was too good. I was a little arrogant, a little cocky. And then came back my sophomore year, started on the varsity team, made first team junior year, made first team all state.
What level of practice did you need to do? What kind of time were you allocating to this to be able to get in? Was it like you were natural, or did you have to put lots of hours in, or it was in the middle?
Lots of hours, hours that people don't even understand or know about. Hours that when you eat dinner at night, and I have a little bit of a yard, so you eat dinner, you rest for half an hour, then you go train 2.5 hours in your backyard because you want to. Or it's in the morning with the bus when you're younger, shooting the ball against the garage wall. Or it's, going to the training field on the track, running around on the track, and then doing a road run while no one else wants to. It's little things over a long period of time that then add up into being able that nothing happens overnight. When people say you're an overnight wonder success, no.
So talk to that 12-year-old right now that is watching and, who is interested in soccer, and, doesn't have that support, doesn't have that, surrounding. How does he or she get into that mindset of wanting to, work, be a professional athlete?
If you can,
or particular professional soccer player.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't matter what kind of athlete you want to be. If you're at that age and you're already self-aware and mentally aware and mentally mature to understand that surrounding around you already, then you can definitely start to pick and choose who you in those moments and what you want. And in that setting, then you already kind of have the tick in your brain that you don't even know yet. And then that's where you can, just go after it. Like, start off one day and do the 5-minute rule. Like do one thing a day for 5 minutes and then be done with it. And then do that 5 minutes a day for 2 months and see where.
Yeah. Okay. So carry on. You were saying you were putting the hours in. You were getting to the more senior level.
Yeah. So in those ages, like I said, going up from 13 into Slovenia, it's training every day. Like you want to know my hours. It's training every day at school for 2 hours, and then it's training 3 times a week with my academy, and then you have tournaments and games on the weekends without basically a break. You get maybe 1 day break if you're lucky. And then when I was 17, I had to try out in Washington, D.C. to go overseas. And that's where I kind of made my break. And in the summer of my junior year into my senior year, I had a 2-week trial in Italy. I was supposed to stay, go to but my mom kind of pulled me back. She wanted me to finish my high school senior year in America. So then we kind of made plans right then and there. Not going to go to college anymore. I had this pursuit. I had this pathway to actually get there, to go after it. And in the summer of my junior year, the summer after my senior year, is when I made the complete switch to go over to Europe. And I was in Italy for 6 months. Got transferred into Slovenia.
So, who decides if you go on this foreign trip? And also, why does it need to be to Europe? I mean, what is the playing field? Is it that people go from here to Europe, or is it they go from here to South America, or they go from here to another part of the US? Is there different options, or is this the kind of route?
It's kind of like your own liking. I mean, I know a lot of players that stay here in the U.S. and play. Like they play in like the USL second division, and one of my old academy teammates, he's actually the backup goalkeeper for the Philadelphia Union. So it depends on your own preference. But for me personally, the best soccer that's played is played in Europe. So if you want to go play with the best, you want to be the best, better get your butt over there and showcase what you can have and do what you have to do to become adequate in that environment, and then start performing at the level that you want to perform at.
So why would you say European soccer is the best, and where does the American soccer stand? And what do you think of the South Americans?
Honestly, it's Brazil and Argentina. For me, for South Americans, are the top two. They have more of like a development. I think the more to come along with, like the South America, Central America, it's more. I would say it's not as tactical. It's more little flash goals, bicycle kicks, that kind of thing. When you kind of go into Europe, it's more about you have all these big leagues, big names, and it's just surrounded with this. And they also have a lot of like, I hate to say it, but they have different structure. You know, there's a lot more money that kind of comes into those kind of scenarios than what it does down in South America and into Central America. And that it shows with the TV, it shows with all this propaganda and promotions that can come along with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just interviewed two brothers. It's on my some of the previous episodes, the Lewis brothers, and they were looking to go into professional sport and into soccer. So they also went to Europe as well. And it'd be interesting for you to kind of look at their story, you know, as well. And them, I'm going to tell them to have a look at your story. So it'd be interesting. So we can definitely learn off that. I mean, this is the whole goal behind what I'm doing is like, you know, you're getting snapshots of people's lives in an hour, and you can learn so much. I mean, everybody's like, we don't need to reinvent the wheel again, you know, like everybody's going through cycles of something that somebody else is that they want to be. Do you get what I'm saying? And we're all on the same journey, so it's really interesting. So I like that. So so what did you miss? What have you missed out by doing what you're doing?
I say you're like typical high school experience. I didn't go to either of my proms. I had tournaments. I didn't really go to many parties in high school. I had training and game events. So I was in school for like obviously for my abilities, but I didn't really have a social life outside of school either because you know you kind of prioritize on what you want. And then when I went overseas, I don't have your college experience. I don't have frats. I don't have sororities. I don't have going to the bars. I have, okay, we got training at 9 a.m. Saturday. You're in the weight room. You have your trainer. You're getting massage. You're doing this, and that. You're not really doing a social life of like a quote unquote average kid my age would be doing. And so I miss a lot of that.
So, you know, are you lonely? Do you feel that is something that's relevant, being an athlete in a foreign country on your own?
Yeah. I feel like I said at the top of this, like I get a lot of my outgoingness. So I'm very adaptive to my situation. Like I make friends, I get to know people, and if you're willing to like learn someone else's culture, especially when you're traveling a different culture and expect everything to revolve around you, you have to understand, do your due diligence, and become part of their world. It's not just around you. So learning their language, their history, learning their culture, going out and talking to people, being part of your teammates, meeting their friends, and then you kind of get yourself involved in a town, or you get yourself involved in a city, and then that's really become, expand your horizon, expand your world.
Yeah. So, I mean, talk to me about your experience of leaving the US. Was that your first experience of leaving the US to go to Italy and then to Slovenia?
No, I was fortunate enough to go to Australia when I was in 8th grade. There was a thing called People Student Ambassadors. So from 8th grade into 9th grade, that summer there, I was able to live in Australia, travel in Australia for a month. Obviously, we had chaperones. It was like a group of 30 kids. It wasn't just like a family thing. But that was my first experience outside the U.S., and that was scary. That was very nerve-wracking. I remember my mom, she even told me that it was my first night away, and she fainted walking down the hallway because she was so scared about some stuff. So it was definitely a new experience. But once I got a taste of that experience of like moving and traveling the world, that's what I thrive for. That's what like made me really even want to go, kind of like leaving the U.S. even more.
Yeah. So, what did you learn? What did you experience in going to Europe? What have you experienced about Europe? What's different? What's similar? What attracts you? What attracts you to America?
What attracts me to America, I'll start there, is just because of the like the hominess of it. Because obviously I'm from here. Everywhere you have like your freedoms, you have your rights, all that kind of stuff that are like tweaked a little different, but in all senses you have that. It's just I'm more so call America home. I love this. This is where my family is. But what attracts me about Europe is there's country in one little area, and you get so many different diverse languages, cultures, histories. That's where you can learn. That's where you can find yourself. That's where you can find people. That's where you can do a lot of things that people can't really do here in America in such a small area.
Yeah. So, have you traveled around the rest of Europe?
Yeah, I've been France, Netherlands, Austria, Croatia, Italy, obviously, Germany. I've been around a little bit.
Cool. And
Yeah.
so how's your romantic life doing then?
Nah, I'm single right now, but you know, romance comes at a young age. So it's good. It's good in times. You find your marks, but it's kind of hard to build a relationship when you're leaving. Kind of like going back and forth between continents, but it's fun. You have some good times every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine being a soccer player, you'd probably be pretty popular. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So talk to me about your identity. You said you traveled around Europe. You know, that's how you figure yourself out. Who are you now?
Yeah.
What's your identity?
That's a hard question. I'll be honest. Just an independent, self-loving, loving of others. Man, that's a stumper. I'll be honest, because I think about that a lot, but it's hard for me to fulfill my own identity, like because I don't know it. I don't, and it's difficult at times.
Okay,
So
let's
I'll be
step
honest, I
back.
don't know how.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we'll work it out together. But let's step back a little bit and let's talk about life, the meaning of life, existence. You know, often to understand ourselves, we have to understand the context. So, have you thought about the meaning of life? Do you believe the universe is random or non-random? Like, do you believe
I definitely.
things just happened, or is there some sort of intention to the universe?
I definitely believe in destiny. I try and meditate. I meditate almost every night. I like to do manifestation of abundance, of all that kind of stuff. I believe angel numbers, all this kind of like you said, a bit of a spiritual kind of thing, because I believe like in a higher power and a higher being. We're all connected. I mean, you have this energy we keep talking about. So yeah.
So how do you justify intentionality in the universe? How do you reason it through? Because if you think about it, sorry, I didn't hear you.
How do I justify what in the universe?
How do you justify intentionality in the universe? Like, if you think about it, if you believe that the universe is non-random, meaning we're not here by chance, then there is meaning and purpose to life, that no one can create the universe for no reason, right? I mean, I'm sure they could, but it doesn't rest, it doesn't sit really well with my thinking. So if the universe is being created for a reason, what would that reason be? What's the human journey? What are we here for?
To fulfill your own life purpose. I mean, and that's hard to find, and that's hard to, in my opinion. But I feel like your manifestation and destiny is to just be a good human being, a generalized, a good human being, a good person, and fulfill that role in the complex of what society has for us to. And sometimes that can be executed well, and sometimes it can't be. But it kind of comes down to the person of what I believe that in a destiny format, that we're all here for a reason, that we all have a destiny. Then you kind of have to look into yourself, go soul searching, and from that point of view, then you kind of take things one step at a time and move towards what you believe purpose is.
Right, but so if the idea is to be a good human being and to discover your purpose, why would the universe be created for that reason? Why would the universe exist for us as human beings to just discover our purpose and be a good person?
I mean, that's a very good question. I do not know. I mean, it's to make me think about some stuff. I'll be honest. Things happen, but if you're here to fulfill your just purpose, I mean, purpose can mean a lot of things for different people. So, my purpose. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. You tell me what your destiny is. What do you see you being here for?
So, I personally believe that I need to be the first millionaire. I need to kind of create a financial structure for my own family in the future and future generations. I believe my purpose is going to, become a professional soccer player, become like an identity, broadcast myself as not a public figure, but get myself to a point where people can like reach out and relate, and then just help everybody around me the best I can, and elevate everyone spiritually and mentally.
Brother, we need to get your Instagram profile up a little bit. We need to get you to share more pictures of your whole experience.
Yeah.
So, no. I was saying. So, can you say that one more time? Just say that one more time for me. What your purpose is?
Basically, that become
you mentioned
free.
Right.
Yeah, financially free for my family, and to build like generational wealth. Because obviously, coming from where I've come from, everything money can just certainly help build like stability in someone's life, to where there's not that worry, or there's not that like scared of where foods or water is going to come from. So I want that, and then I just want to become like I said, a little bit of a public figure and stuff. But I got a lot of work to do with that.
What do you mean by public figure? Are you talking about a Messi or Ronaldo? What are you talking about when you say public figure? Are you talking about a politician?
Nah, I just want to become someone that someone can like relate to. Like someone can come talk, and they feel like comfortable enough, and it doesn't matter like where you're at or who you are. It's where like if you need to talk, like I said earlier, if you need to randomly talk to someone, to where you can be that kind of public figure, to where someone can just be like, hey, I need to talk, or can I speak to you for a moment? It kind of gives ease of mind to people around you.
Yeah, because I feel like you're great on camera, you're articulate, you're practical. I'm just surprised that you're not sharing this journey so that kids younger can understand the whole process of what it is to be an international, professional soccer player, and what it's like to live in a foreign country. What are the things that you have to go through? What are the fun things that you're experiencing? And I would imagine if you become strong in your influence as on social media, then you would be more marketable to like um, branding, like for sponsorships on your social media, and that would be a pathway to your financial independence,
Yeah,
separate to your sports journey.
Yeah, I mean, I like to use it, but I also like to kind of build things on my own. I don't like to use things from my past to relate to other people, but I don't like to exploit things in my life just to become, just to like use it kind of. I like to kind of build my own standard, build my own foundation.
So what does that look like?
So I remember this is kind of like a little story, but when I was in middle school and we were in the library, for fun and for random, and some kid found my father's mugshot when they Googled my name because of in the news and articles and stuff. And in that moment, said, like, when you Google my name, you're not going to see anything about my father. You're not going to see anything about anybody else. You're going to see me and what I've built. So nowadays, when you Google my name, you see me. You see soccer. You see anything in my past. You see what I've built for myself, and that kind of mentality.
Okay, I hear you. So it's interesting. I've always seen that people who are very good in sports, have a natural talent in sports, they're fortunate, like the Conor McGregors, the Muhammad Ali's, the Ronaldos, yourself. People who do sports know what the focus is and what the goal is, because they have a target, and that target is that trophy, or the championship or the belt. If you're not in sports, how do you determine what the target should be? How do you identify target to align your own personal self behind to execute on each day? Do you get what I'm saying? It's like so clear when you're an athlete, basketball player, you know exactly what you need to do, how much time you need to put in, what the success measurements are. But if you're not an athlete, then what are the ways that you can kind of do that?
Well, it comes down to where you have to self-identify. You have to know what you want. So every athlete, they know what they want because it's a figure. It's physical though. But when you don't have that physical figure, you really have to imagine and identify what you want and become self-aware in that. And when you can start laying down your basis of your measurements, your progress, what you can take each day to day, make a list, make a checklist saying, hey, this is, if you want to get healthy again, say that's a goal. You can measure that in weight loss, or you can measure that in calories or whatever, but you can just write down a goal and say, hey, I want to drink 3 bottles of water today, or I don't want to eat bread for this day. And then you can go down, make a checklist, and then you see your progression and you see your little wins. And then those little wins can then add up to making your physical goal of what you would want.
I was just thinking while you were saying that, and I shouldn't be thinking while you're saying that, but I was just thinking, you should be doing a lot of these Instagram lives and inviting people who are young athletes to be able to just jump on and have a chat with you. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely could. I have athletes around me, and I know people like ask me about. I feel like a lot of personal stuff. I'm not very tech savvy. I know I'm young, but you may be a little more tech savvy than me at this point.
Oh, brother, trust me. This is like what I'm doing right now is highly technical, and I don't know how I'm doing it, but I figured it out. So I think you just got to have your your kind of ears to the ground. So Let me ask you a few questions. So,
Shoot, go ahead.
are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Am I an introvert?
Or an extrovert?
I'm an extrovert. I believe I am.
Okay.
Like if I'm out in social, if I'm out in public, I believe that I'm going out, I'm talking to people, I'm having a good time. But like I also like my alone time at the same time. You know, if I'm at home or if I want peace, I'll want to put my office and I'll have my alone time. But if I'm out with people, I'm not going to be shy in a corner and hide myself.
Absolutely. Are you rational or emotional?
No, I'll be honest, not really. I don't cry. I don't show external emotions. I don't really. I tell people like if I have affection, I say it with words, but it's not really a physical thing that I do too much.
Yeah. So you've kind of. Do you believe you've kind of smothered your emotional side, or you just very um, you've been able to channel you've mastered your emotions?
I say definitely a little bit of both. You know, I'm very reserved on my emotional side. I am, and I know I am. But you know, you have to know your own flaws before you can never change anything. So I know that about myself. But it also comes down to where I can channel it when I need it to be in a moment, or if I need to show a passion or I need to show an energy. I know when to bring that out of myself, and I know how to bring that out of myself to use it in that own specific situation.
Are you an idealist or a realist?
I think I'm an idealist. I mean, I want to fly. I want flying cars. I want to go to Mars. I believe in like human beings doing whatever they, you know, being this great like science fiction kind of. But I just know it takes hard work, and I know it takes a lot of things to get to that idealist mentality. It takes a lot of real. I'll put it this way: it takes a lot of real for the idealist to kind of get his ideas going.
Are you risk averse or are you risk taker?
Risk taker, 100% risk taker.
Are you practical or intellectual?
Practical. I mean, I have brains, but I'll say more practical.
Okay. And do you prefer certainty or uncertainty?
Certainty.
Certainty. Okay. So, if you were an animal, what kind of animal would you describe yourself as?
Hmm. Um, Mountain lion.
Okay. So, what are the three
Fine.
characteristics of a mountain lion that you possess? I think we lost you a little bit on the picture. I think we're getting you back.
Yeah. So I got cut out there for a little bit.
Yeah, you're back. So I was saying, what are the three qualities of a mountain lion that you possess?
Three quality.
Three top qualities of a mountain lion that you possess.
Stealth. Uh, and persistence.
I got stealth. I got persistence. What was the third one?
Patience.
Patience. Okay. Yeah. I think patience is a very underestimated strength. Do you get what I'm saying? That I think people see that as sometimes a weakness or not valuable, but I think it's a very important, powerful strategic tool. So I've seen a lot of people who are successful are people who have been patient and they've worked process. Do you get what I'm saying? Where did your patience come from?
My grandmother. My mom is very impatient, so I feel like also patience of my mother made me be patient. You know, it's like when you get someone that's always jumping and always wants something now, you kind of realize to yourself and you see the impatience. You know, I need to calm down here, take a breath, relax, and see the scene for what it is, and then make a decision about it then.
Cool. So what do you want to talk about?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
What do you want to talk about?
What do I... It cut out again, I'm sorry.
So what do you want to talk about?
Oh, you. Best life. So I want to play professional.
I think we lost you again for a second. Could you say that again?
Sorry?
We're probably having a run of bad connectivity at the moment. It's going to be a little bit patient. You might want to disconnect and reconnect or something, unless we've got you back right now. So if there's any problems, we're running the next like 10 minutes left, something like that.
Yeah.
So what were you saying? Sorry.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to say I want to live my best life. I know, like, in the moment and as my age changes, living my best life is going to change. And as long, like, with it, one day I'm going to want to be a father. One day I'm going to want a family, all this kind of stuff. And then maybe that's living my best life. But I know as of right now, living my best life, what I want is to play professional soccer, be happy, be healthy, and enjoy my company and my family time around me.
Yeah. We didn't go deep, but how do you connect to this awareness that you have of the higher power? Do you do any sort of prayer other than meditation?
No, I honestly, I do some chakras. I do chakra cleansings. I believe in that. I believe in meditation, lucid dreaming. I've tried astral projection, but haven't really worked for me. But that's my connection, I believe, with my higher power.
And what's the chakra work? How did you get into that? I mean, it's not usually.
Some of the things I've learned through meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the things I've learned through the meditation about calming your body, relaxing, getting all your energies to flow in one concise movement, that's when you can start clearing your mind, and then that's when you can start being disciplined and controlling everything moving in through your body. And if you can control on the interior, then you may not be able to control everything on the exterior, but at least you know you have yourself and you're aligned in one place.
This Eastern philosophy that you picked up, is that something that you picked up through soccer training, or is that something you picked up yourself?
I was kind of taught a little younger, because we were taught in my academy, when you are in high stress situations, about your breathing techniques and how to calm your mind and calm your body when you're in high stress environments, and then you need to execute instance. So I learned a lot about breathing techniques then, about spatial awareness, like quote unquote zoning out your outside world and becoming, and focusing on what you need to do in that moment. And then I kind of took those moments that I learned from then, and I kind of followed pursuit in them.
Yeah. So so my final question is, if they say you're the average of the 5 people that you most hang out with, so if you were to choose 5 people to surround yourself with, past, present, or future, it's a fantasy. So who would those 5 people be that you'd want to hang around with to raise your average?
I'm sorry, I heard bits and pieces of that. I heard past and future are fantasies, and that you want this averageness, but I didn't understand the full.
Yeah, so I was saying, they say you're the average of the 5 people that you most hang out with.
Yeah.
If you were to hang out with 5 people and it was a fantasy scenario, who would those 5 people be that you would hang around with? Past, present, or future?
Present, I guess. I would definitely want to hang out in the present, because I personally believe that past is like the.
No, I think.
Misunderstand.
Yeah. I was saying, in a fantasy scenario, if you had the choice of choosing people from the past, present, or the future, who would those 5 people be that you would want to hang out with?
Oh, okay. I would try to hang out with Elon Musk, one person. Abraham Lincoln, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Rockefeller. And then I'd be that fifth average person. I would want to put myself into that situation. I'll learn from them all, man.
Excellent, wonderful. So, any final thoughts, brother?
Just live your life. Be positive. Be motivated. Be disciplined in whatever you want, and make sure you work for what you want. You know, don't take any second chances. Be that risk taker, because if you don't take the risk, then you can live with doubt, and living with doubt is something that you never really should want to do.
Absolutely. Okay, brother. Listen, thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you you opening up and sharing your journey with us. And we'll just stay in touch, I hope.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for having me. It was great. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you, brother. Take care. Bye-bye.